Today we will be making these absolutely adorable strawberries. I used a 3mm hook, stitch marker, green and yellow in weight 3, red in weight 4. You'll definitely want a yarn needle this time. As always, we need scissors, and if you'd like to turn it into a keychain, you'll need the little circle and the clasp to go along with it. These are the stitches we're using today. The free pattern is linked in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel, you can get the paid version. So I actually had to change my hook and my yarn color because it was almost impossible to see. So just know that this is for demonstration purposes, and you do want a smaller hook for this. So we're gonna start off with a slip knot. I'm gonna wrap the yarn around twice, take the yarn that's in the back and bring it forward, take the yarn that's now in the back and bring it up and over your finger, insert your hook, and pull on the working yarn to tighten it. But we're actually going to work into this slip knot, so leave it a little bit looser than normal. From here, we're going to chain up 3. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And because we made our slip knot a little bit looser than normal, it should be really easy to insert your hook into there and make a slip knot. That's the next step. So yarn over, pull up, and pull through. And from here, I'm going to pull up a loop and grab my stitch marker. Because we're using so few stitches, it can get really difficult to see. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that into the last chain we just made. And we have 3 chains that we're working with. So this will be the first one right here. And in all 3 chains, we're going to put a single crochet increase. So into that very first chain, I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And I'm going to do that one more time in the same stitch. Okay, and then in the next stitch, and don't forget to work in the tail end while you're crocheting. So into that next stitch, it will be kind of hard to do only for the first round. So going in with my next single crochet, and then one more single crochet in that same stitch. And now we've made it to the stitch marker, which is our 3rd chain. We're going to go into that stitch with a single crochet increase again, still working in those tail ends. Okay, and I'm going to pull up a loop and replace the stitch marker. And now we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches to work into. For this next round, we're going to do an increase again in each stitch. So that's 2 double crochet in each and every stitch in the round. So that's my first increase. This is the next stitch. This is my second increase. I'll meet you back when we get to the stitch marker. Okay, so we've made it back to our stitch marker. I'm going to remove it. And then into that stitch, I'm going to make our last increase. And then I'm going to pull up a loop and put the stitch marker back into the last stitch we just made. And now we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stitches. Next round, we're just going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch, leaving us with the same stitch count of 12. So no increasing at all, just 1 single crochet in every stitch until we make it back to the stitch marker. Okay, we've made it back to the stitch marker. Go ahead and put 1 single crochet in there, pull up your loop and replace the marker. And now we're going to repeat that 2 more times. So we're going to do 2 more rounds of no increases, just 12 single crochet, and then replace the stitch marker and 12 more single crochet, and I'll meet you at that point. So I've gone around 2 times. I just need to insert my last single crochet. And again, I'm always replacing this stitch marker into that last stitch. From here, this round is going to now deal with decreases. So into the next stitch, we're going to do a decrease, single crochet decrease. To do that, you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, and pull up a loop. And then you're going to go into the next stitch and insert your hook, yarn over, and pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So that's your single crochet decrease. And then after you do your decrease, in the next stitch, just do a regular single crochet. And then we'll just repeat that sequence. So the next 2 stitches are used for a decrease. So again, you insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, go into the next stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And after your decrease again, just a regular single crochet into the next stitch. And now our decrease. And now our single crochet. And now our decrease. And your last single crochet should be in the stitch that had the stitch marker. Right here. Okay, pull up your loop, reinsert your stitch marker in the loop. This is so you don't lose your project. And then you want to pull up some yarn because we're actually going to use this to stuff the strawberry in a bit. Mock stuff it in and see if it gets as fluffy as you want it. If it's not as stuffed as you want it, just go ahead and add more. I think this is good, so I know I'm okay to cut the yarn about right here. But for now, just go ahead and remove it because we're not at that step yet. I'm deciding to switch it to white just because it's going to look a little bit nicer with this pink. So go ahead and thread your accent color. This is for the seeds of the strawberry. And currently the way the project is facing, this is the inside. So we are going to push it inside out. So you're going to go into any stitch, but don't go through it. So you go on the other side. Make sure you're staying on this side because we're making a little knot here. And you don't want it to be seen. So go ahead and tie a knot. This is just to secure it while we make the seeds. So I'm going to make 2 knots. And again, all of this is going to be hidden on the inside. You're going to need about 15 inches of thread. You can never have too much and you can always just cut it later. So go ahead and thread your needle. I would now flip the project inside out so you can see where the seeds will be. So you can start from anywhere. You can start from the top or the bottom. I'm just going to insert my hook through on the side that's facing us and then back into the inside. You want to put it in a distance that's the same size as you want the seeds to be. It can be a little confusing on which side of the string to pull. Just go ahead and see if you like the size that you made the seed. If you want it to be bigger, you want to go ahead and make the sections a little bit further away from each other. So I'll show you. I'm going back from the inside to go right here. And if I wanted to make the seed longer, I would go down here. I personally know I don't like that, so I'm going to stay just right here because I like the smaller seeds. That does mean I'll have to do more, which means this will take a little bit longer. If you do big seeds, this will go by a bit faster. Sometimes if you pull too tight, you won't even be able to see the seed at all. So you just want to go under the thread and just pull it up a little bit like that. This part takes the longest, but it is very forgiving. So don't really worry about it if you put a seed where you don't like it. After you add a whole bunch of them, it always ends up looking great. Okay, and flip on the inside, and just like we did at the beginning, I'm going to make another knot. I'm just going to pull it through on this side and then kind of stay in this same spot and pull up the yarn again. I'm holding my finger here so it makes like a loop, and then don't close this loop all the way. Put your needle through it, and when you pull, it will make a knot and secure everything. And leave a little bit of a tail and cut your seed yarn and tuck it right back in. We can remove our stitch marker and we can chain up one. Once it is all pulled through, go ahead and restuff it in to the strawberry, and you'll have something that looks like this. This is the base of the strawberry. Oh, so cute. Again, I had to change the yarn just for visual purposes. So we're gonna start with another slip knot, except this time you can make a regular slip knot. You don't have to make it loose. And then go ahead and chain up 4. From here, we're gonna slip stitch into the first chain to make a circle. So we are going to go into the circle right here. We're going to chain up 1 first. That does not count as a stitch. And into the circle, we are going to make 4 single crochet. That's 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet to join the round. Then we're going to chain 1 again, does not count as a stitch. Feel free to use a stitch marker again, the same way we did last time if you need it. But now we are going to make 1 single crochet increase into each stitch. So here's the first stitch, 1 single crochet. This is the second single crochet into the same stitch, and then into that next stitch right beside it, single crochet increase, and we're going to complete that in all 4 stitches, leaving us with a total of 8 stitches. So this is the last stitch. Work in the tail end of yarn if you can, and that is the last increase. And again, slip stitch to join at the beginning of the round. And you have something that looks like this. So now you want to go ahead and grab your strawberry, and you're going to place the base of the stem on top of it like this. You're going to reinsert your hook. We're going to line up the stitches. We're going to put our hook under 1 stitch of the stem and 1 stitch of the strawberry, and connect them with a single crochet. So you're going to do that a total of 8 times. So again, stem and under the strawberry, and then connect with a single crochet. Okay, and this was my last single crochet. From here into the next stitch, I'm going to do a double crochet cluster. So I'm going to yarn over and go into the next stitch and make 5 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That was all in the same stitch. And then I'm going to slip stitch in the stitch beside it. Stitch again. I'm going to do another double crochet cluster, which again is just 5 double crochets into the same stitch, and then slip stitch into the next stitch beside it, and slip stitch into the last stitch. And you'll have something that looks like this. Chain up one, and I'm going to pull up a pretty long loop, cut my work, and pull the yarn through. This is looking a little bit like a pineapple, but that's because I used this hook instead of the smaller hook, so that's what changing your hook can do. Now I think we're safe to use this strawberry, and let's get this one out of here. Sorry, I'll actually need you for one more second. So you're going to put your hook into the center, and you're going to make your way to the tail yarn, and you're going to yarn over and pull the yarn up through the center of the strawberry. Now you can go away. You want to grab your ring and your clasp, and you're going to open it up and insert the clasp. If you already have them attached, that's great. You don't need to do this step. So I like to take my strawberry, insert my hook under the stem, and then throw the loop onto it. I'll grab my yarn, I'll yarn over, pull up a loop, and then chain one. You can stop here by fastening off, so pull up the loop, pull the yarn through, and weave in the ends. But I actually want to add something to my keychain, so I'm going to chain up two, and I'm going to grab my little puff flower. I just released a tutorial for that, so if you want to add a puff flower to your strawberry, go ahead and watch that tutorial. I'll link it down below. So I'm just going to insert my hook under one of the little puffs, yarn over, pull up a loop, and make a single crochet to connect it. Then I'm going to chain one and pull my yarn through. To weave in my ends, I am going to use my yarn needle. So I'm going to go ahead and thread this. I'm going to go ahead and make a knot first. So I'm going to go under the stem one time. Then I'm going to do that one more time to create a knot. So go in another section and hold it so you can make a loop. And then you go into the loop with your needle and pull it through to make a knot. And then from here, I'm just going to push down in the strawberry and pull through. That hides it inside of the project. You can go ahead and cut that. And there you have it, a super cute strawberry keychain. But thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.